All right, so I'm gonna do another layer, and this time I'm gonna try to create these sort of bumps. I could show you like more custom brushes, but I want to show you how you can maybe build something of your own in case you want to use it. So let's do that. Um, all right, I'm gonna. So if you wanna do that yourself, just follow along for this one. It's a pretty simple trick. You can go ahead and click on a plane 3D, make it a polymesh 3D, and then subdivide it up to maybe 4 million polygons. Okay, so that's it. Don't worry about anything else, just a plain polymesh 3D subdivided. So now you can use anything in here to create a detail that then you can populate or that you can create in, as an alpha. So the trick here, and I want to use my let's use standard brushes so you can follow along. So I want to use the standard brush. Sorry, the damp standard brush. Okay. The only thing I want to change from this damp standard brush is the stroke. So I'm going to change that to drag rect. So now I can click and drag and create that sort of point, right? Click and drag. So that's kind of like a pore that we can create. But I'm going to increase the intensity as well. Yeah, so something like that. Now, once you have edited your brush, this is a clean sort of canvas to create details. The trick here is to save a current stage of this plane before you create any details, basically. So the way that you do that is holding Control and click on wherever you are in the timeline. So this is your timeline. So I'm going to hold Control and click on it. So that adds this white line. So basically now holding Control and clicking on it, it's telling ZBrush, hey, remember this current state. Remember that we haven't done any details. So anything that we do from this point forward is going to be recorded in the memory of ZBrush. So from this point that we just clicked up to when we finish doing the detail, that's going to be recorded. So now I can just go ahead and click and drag, right? And you see we are now in the next undo. I'm going to now reset my damp standard brush. So I'm going to click on reset current brush. That for you guys will be under the brush palette at the very bottom. You can reset your brushes if they're misbehaving. Sorry. Here at the bottom, reset current brush or reset all brushes. So now I resetted that and I'm going to go ahead and start maybe adding something like this, some sort of crevice to emulate skin pore. So it's kind of like a hexagon type of thing. I'm going to switch to inflate. I'm going to hold the Alt key just to push this like so. So it just creates a very prominent pore in there and smooth that out as well. And then I'm going to use my standard brush. So all standard brushes and just add a bit of volume around these areas. And I'm going to switch to the smooth stronger so that I can smooth this nicely. Because even though it's a plane, there's plenty of resolution here. So I'm just smoothing that out. You can also go back in subdivision levels and that makes it easier to smooth things out. Alrighty, so that's it. So now if you look here at my timeline, here is my tiny undo history that we said we want to remember that state before we added all of these. And we are currently here. So between these 2 points, that's all the strokes and all the details that we did to, all the strokes and volumes changes and everything that we did to create this single pore, right? So now we can go ahead and we can turn this into an alpha. And the simplest way of doing it, I have a custom button here, which is this G here. So you can press G on your keyboard, or you can go to alpha and you can click on from brush. I can't remember what the button is now. I think it's from brush. Yeah, from brush. So you can click on this one. And that gives you this, it changes the cursor from this, from red to this blue. So I'm gonna click and drag. Oh, no, sorry. Let's undo that. I'm gonna change the stroke. So we can do it with the drag rect. Let's do it again. So I'm gonna drag like so, let go, and it's gonna capture just the details. So if I look at the alpha now, let's bring in the alpha to the left-hand side. There we go. So you see, this is my pore. So now with the standard brush, that's the one that I had selected, and I still have the stroke, the drag rect stroke, I can click and drag to add my detail, right? So let's undo that. Let's go into the high subdivision level. I think I'm gonna do it again because I captured it in the lowest subdivision. So I'll do it one more time. Yeah, I think that should be okay. Alrighty. So now this is all good. I'm gonna build a brush with details that compounds on the details that I've done before. So we start from the micro detail. So this is a single pore, but now you can go back in history, you can create something else. In fact, let's just go ahead and append a plane. So we have it all within the same tool. Turn this off. Same thing, I'm gonna divide this a bunch of times. So we have, 4 million polygons. If you get a red line like this is telling ZBrush that somewhere in another tool, in another subtool, there is a recorded history, which is what we have here, this white one. So to remove it, you just need to hold Control and click somewhere and then click it again. And that removes that red line and there's no recorded history. So now I'm going to record history in this one. So Control and click. And I'm going to start adding pores. But the thing is, if you start adding one and then add another one, it's not going to be consistent, right? So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to change the stroke to another stroke called drag rect. So drag rect is going to allow you to drag the alpha, but the size is going to be consistent based on the brush size. So I can click and you see it just adds it in there. Maybe I'm going to turn off lazy mouse so it's easier to place it. So I'm going to place that one there and I'm going to start placing pores around. So this is how you can create a complex brush and sort of like compounding the details that you create. And you see how nice this is starting to look like skin, just with that tiny, simple start pore. This one's not too close. Just be careful about how you place them. All right, so we can keep compounding this. So let's go ahead and add with the damp standard brush and reset this just in case. I'm gonna make sure I connect some of these a little bit better. So just to create a sense of continuity here so that they're not just a bunch of pores. And this is probably better to do it as well with references. I'm just going kind of like from memory and experience, but 100% would be better to do it with references. But yeah, all I'm doing is roughly trying to connect this, and I will spend more time if I want to do like a proper sort of brush. But roughly, this is what I do, right? When I create a custom brush, just look at how I can optimize the process. Okay, cool. So let's say we have this and we're sort of happy with this. And because we saved a point in time, we can also take this section and convert it into another brush, right? So let's do the same thing. Let's switch to the standard brush, make sure that drag rect is enabled. And let's go click on from brush, click and drag, and wait until it finishes. So it's extracting that map. And now we have this piece that we can add to a bunch of things. So that's pretty cool. That's one way of doing it. The other way, let's see. So I usually do this just to get started, but now that I have this one, and just because it is a simple plane, right? Another way of doing it that I really like is to go and click on from mesh. But that one is a tricky one. So let me give you the steps. Make sure that perspective is off and start rotating and holding the shift key to make sure that you are in a front view, right? You will be able to change that later, but it's good to start like this. Then click on from mesh. That brings this little window. Make sure that you don't click and rotate things around. So just zoom in. So I'm going to zoom in around there. And you can also rotate and hold shift in this view so that make sure that the rotation is right in the front, right? And this one is pretty cool because it allows you to change the map size. So I can just push this to be 240K, right? So it's very, it's a very high res map or an alpha. So when I click OK, that creates that alpha. And then I can just click and drag, maybe increase my intensity. And that is going to give you a very clean mesh, right? All right, so let's compound on this. Let's add to it a little bit more. So I'm gonna append a plane, select that, hold Control and click to remove that. Divide this to 4 million polygons, hold Control, click, and then I'm just going, oops, let's change that to drag dot, maybe with larger size. So that's 1, 2, 3. So we're creating a very complex alpha for details from a single dot, right? So let's say we're happy with this. Again, we can maybe, yeah, I'm happy with this. You can switch back to the other alpha, let's say to this one, and kind of like add more to it in here, but I think that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to click on From Mesh, make sure that this is facing me. So I'm going to zoom in, not that much. It's always good to leave a little bit of a space around it, and hold Shift to make sure that we lock that to the camera. And this is going to be another high-res map. Click OK. So now we have this high-res map. We can go back in time here. And we can use drag rect to apply this more resolution. And we have our pores, right? Some of them are overlapping. But yeah, that's basically the process of creating this type of complex things.